in all of these states, and in fact all over the country, is that our nation right now faces enormous crises, unprecedented crises in the modern history of our country. And how, right now, at this moment, we respond to these crises will not only impact our lives, it will impact the lives of our kids and future generations, and in terms of climate change, the well-being of the entire planet.
In a bold and emotional speech on the Senate floor, Senator Bernie Sanders addressed what he called a defining moment in American history. He warned that the country is not just facing ordinary political debates, but an onslaught of crises that threaten the future of democracy, economic fairness, and the well-being of generations to come. Sanders opened by recognizing the growing frustration among Americans. Across the country, people are angry at a system they feel has failed them. He described a government increasingly dominated by billionaires and special interests, leaving working families behind. One name he singled out was Elon Musk, whom Sanders accused of pushing harmful cuts to programs like Social Security, Veterans Affairs, and the Department of Education, all to make room for massive tax breaks for the wealthiest Americans. But Sanders said the problem goes deeper than just economic policy. He called out President Donald Trump for what he described as ongoing attacks on the foundation of the U.S. Constitution. From undermining the First Amendment and targeting journalists, to defying Congress and attempting to intimidate the judiciary, Sanders argued that Trump is eroding the checks and balances that protect American democracy. He reminded listeners that the Founding Fathers created a system with 3 branches of government: executive, legislative, and judicial, to prevent exactly the kind of power grab he believes is now taking place. In Sanders' view, Trump's actions reflect a move toward authoritarianism that Americans must resist. The senator went on to describe what he sees as the growing divide in the United States: 2 Americas. In one, the richest individuals enjoy unprecedented luxury: private jets, gated mansions, elite schools, and even their own space flights. In the other, millions of hardworking people live paycheck to paycheck, unable to afford rent, childcare, healthcare, or even basic groceries. He cited shocking data: 60% of Americans are living on the edge financially, and being part of the working class today could cost someone 7 years of life compared to someone in the top 1%. He described a broken healthcare system, skyrocketing prescription drug prices, and families forced to choose between paying medical bills or feeding their children. Sanders pointed out that this economic imbalance isn't just a matter of inequality, it's a direct threat to people's lives. And he argued that behind it all is greed. Corporate greed, political greed, and what he called the most dangerous addiction in America today: the insatiable hunger for more wealth and more power among the billionaire class. He warned about the growing power of Wall Street giants like BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street, which collectively hold massive stakes in nearly every major American corporation. This, Sanders argued, gives them not only economic dominance but also immense political influence, allowing them to shape policies in their favor at the expense of everyday Americans. In a powerful closing message, Sanders made it clear that this is not just a battle between parties. Both Democrats and Republicans, he said, have allowed the system to become corrupted by corporate money and billionaire interests. He called out political super PACs and lobbying groups on both sides, accusing them of threatening candidates who actually stand up for working people. Despite the gravity of his warning, Sanders ended with a message of hope. He believes that if Americans come together, regardless of race, religion, background, or political affiliation, they can push back against the forces of greed and division. The country, he said, can still build a government and an economy that works for everyone, not just the wealthy few. This wasn't just another Senate speech. It was a rallying cry to the American people, urging them to stay informed, get involved, and take back the power that belongs to them.